All right, Steelers Nation, let's dive right into this one. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that's always looking to improve, always searching for that extra edge to bring success back to the city of champions. And before we jump into today's news, I want to ask you, if you believe in this team's fight to get better every single week, make sure to smash that like button right now. It really helps push our community forward and keeps the conversation going strong. Now, let's get into it. The Steelers have officially added some depth at wide receiver, and it comes at a moment when the offense desperately needs fresh energy and more reliable targets. According to Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz, Pittsburgh has signed former New York Giants wideout Isaiah Hajins ahead of the Week 3 matchup against the New England Patriots. This signing may not be the type of blockbuster move that shakes the entire NFL, but make no mistake, it's an under-the-radar pickup that could have real value for this team moving forward. Let's rewind for a second and break this down. Hajins played his college ball at Oregon State, where he absolutely lit it up. From 2017 through 2019, he hauled in 173 catches for 2,322 yards and 20 touchdowns. He wasn't just productive, he was consistent, showing reliable hands and a knack for finding the end zone. The Buffalo Bills drafted him in the 6th round of the 2020 NFL Draft. The idea was for Hajins to grow alongside Josh Allen and become a dependable piece of that high-powered offense. Unfortunately, injuries derailed those early plans. A shoulder issue required surgery, keeping him sidelined for his rookie year. From there, his NFL journey became a grind. Hajins bounced between practice squads and active rosters, struggling to find a permanent home. But his true breakout came in 2022 after the New York Giants claimed him off waivers. Over the last 8 games of that season, Hajins became a surprise contributor, posting 351 yards and 4 touchdowns in the regular season, and even putting up a huge performance in the playoffs with over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. That stretch gave fans a glimpse of what he could bring to the table: size, reliability, and the ability to be a possession receiver in big moments. Unfortunately, things slowed down after that. Between 2023 and 2024, Hajins managed just 242 yards in 20 appearances with the Giants. Earlier this year, he signed a reserve futures deal with the 49ers, but they released him during final roster cuts in August. Now, he gets a chance to prove himself in Pittsburgh. Right now, the Steelers' wide receiver core is headlined by DK Metcalf, who's expected to be the dominant force. Behind him, there's Calvin Austin III with his speed, rookie Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller as a depth option, and Ben Skowronek. Adding Hajins gives Pittsburgh another tool in the toolbox, and one that could carve out a role in the rotation if he quickly earns the trust of Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin. At 6'4", Hajins provides the size that the Steelers can really use in the red zone and on third downs. He may not have blazing speed, but he's smart with his routes and has a proven ability to win contested catches. Think about how valuable that could be when defenses are doubling Metcalf or focusing on stopping the quick burst from Austin. Let's be real here. This signing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It comes right after the Steelers' ugly 31-17 loss to the Seattle Seahawks in Week 2, a game where both sides of the ball struggled. Defensively, Cam Hayward didn't hold back in his post-game comments, saying there was plenty of teach tape to go around. He called out breakdowns in coverage, lapses in execution, and missed opportunities on third down. Seattle's offense, led by Sam Darnold, exposed weaknesses that Pittsburgh simply can't afford to let become a trend. And then there were the special teams miscues, including a muffed kickoff that gifted the Seahawks points at a crucial moment. Add in Aaron Rodgers and the offense stalling with just 203 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions, and it's clear the Steelers needed a shakeup. That's exactly why Hajins was brought in. Not because he's a miracle cure, but because the Steelers are acknowledging they can't stand still. They need more weapons, more competition, and more urgency to fix problems before they snowball into bigger issues. Now, here's the big question. Can Isaiah Hajins actually step in and make a difference, or is this just a depth move that fills a roster spot? If you ask me, it's somewhere in the middle. Hajins isn't going to suddenly become the WR1, but if he can provide Rodgers with a reliable possession target on crucial downs, if he can help in red zone situations, and if he can bring stability to a unit that's still figuring itself out, then this signing will be a success. Remember, the Steelers don't need Hajins to be a superstar. They need him to be dependable. With a defense that's still finding its rhythm and an offense that hasn't clicked yet, even small improvements can make a huge difference. I also want to circle back to what Cam Hayward said, because it matters. After the loss, he didn't sugarcoat things. He talked about receivers being wide open, about missed opportunities, about needing to capitalize when the defense gets opponents into long-yardage situations. That's the kind of leadership you want to see. That's what builds accountability. And when you combine that message with a front office move like signing Hajins, it shows the Steelers are serious about fixing problems before they sink the season. The message is clear. Learn from the teach tape, add reinforcements, and keep pushing forward. The Steelers don't have much time to dwell on what went wrong against Seattle. Up next is a road matchup against the New England Patriots in Week 3. And let's be honest, the Patriots aren't the powerhouse they once were, but they're still a Bill Belichick-coached team that thrives on exposing weaknesses. If ever there was a time for Hajins to make an early impact, it's now. Even if he doesn't rack up stats right away, his presence could open things up for Metcalf, Austin, and the rest of the receiving corps. Head coach Mike Tomlin confirmed on Tuesday that star linebacker Alex Highsmith will not be available this Sunday against the New England Patriots. Highsmith suffered a sprained ankle during the Week 2 loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and while the good news is that he's not expected to go on injured reserve, the bad news is that the Steelers are going to be without one of their most important defensive playmakers in Foxborough. This is a blow, no doubt about it. Highsmith has been a critical piece opposite T.J. Watt, bringing speed off the edge and giving opposing quarterbacks no place to hide. Losing him, even for a single week, forces Pittsburgh to shuffle the deck defensively. But here's the silver lining. Tomlin made it clear this isn't a long-term absence. Highsmith should be back relatively soon, and that's something fans can hang on to. Now, with Highsmith sidelined and defensive tackle Isaiah Loudermilk also ruled out due to a high ankle sprain, the Steelers could be looking at the final debut of rookie first-round pick Derek Harmon.
This is the moment fans have been waiting for. Harmon, a versatile defensive lineman out of Oregon, has missed the first 2 games of the season with a knee injury. But this week, Tomlin hinted that the rookie could finally be ready to take the field. If Harmon plays, it couldn't come at a better time. Pittsburgh's defensive line depth is being tested early in the season, and Harmon has the ability to line up at multiple spots in the Steelers' 3-4 scheme. That kind of flexibility is exactly what Tomlin and defensive coordinator Terrell Austin love to have. Imagine it, T.J. Watt rushing off the edge, Cam Hayward clogging the middle, and Harmon adding fresh energy into the rotation. That's the kind of boost this defense needs right now. It's not just Highsmith and Loudermilk. The Steelers are dealing with several injuries heading into this crucial Week 3 matchup. Patrick Queen, oblique, the linebacker was dealing with a minor issue, but Tomlin said he's expected to play. That's huge because Queen has been flying around the field and bringing leadership to the middle of this defense. Darius Slay, shoulder, the veteran corner is banged up but also likely to play. With New England's receivers looking to attack, Pittsburgh needs Slay's experience and ball-hawking ability out there. Deshaun Elliott, knee, and Joey Porter Jr., hamstring, both are questionable. These are the ones to watch closely, especially Porter. If he can't go, the Steelers' secondary loses its top young playmaker, and that would put even more pressure on the pass rush to create chaos. So while the Steelers aren't at full strength, they're still expected to have most of their defensive starters on the field. The question is how much the loss of Highsmith and Loudermilk changes the game plan. Now, let's talk special teams because this has become a hot topic. Rookie running back Caleb Johnson wasn't officially ruled out, but he's already lost his job as the kickoff returner after a costly mistake against Seattle. If you saw it, you know how bad it was. Johnson didn't feel the kickoff that bounced in front of him, and the Seahawks recovered it in the end zone for a touchdown. That's the kind of error that can completely swing momentum in an NFL game, and unfortunately, it came at the worst time for Pittsburgh. After the mistake, Kenneth Gainwell stepped in to handle kickoff duties, and Tomlin made it clear Johnson won't have the role in the short term. But here's what stood out in Tomlin's comments. He's not giving up on Johnson. He said Johnson is a sharp, hard-working young man, and while the mistake was costly, he'll get an opportunity to earn his way back. That's classic Tomlin, holding players accountable but also leaving the door open for redemption. For Johnson, it's a test of character. Can he bounce back from that kind of mistake? Can he prove in practice that he deserves another shot? Steelers Nation will be watching closely. This Week 3 game against the Patriots is huge. The Steelers sit at 1-2. They got the thrilling win over the Jets in Week 1, but stumbled badly against Seattle in Week 2. Now they have a chance to reset, go on the road, and prove they can handle adversity. The Patriots may not be the dynasty they once were, but no one should underestimate a Bill Belichick-coached team. They thrive on exploiting weaknesses. If Pittsburgh doesn't clean up the mistakes, missed tackles, blown coverages, special teams errors, the Patriots will take advantage. And that's why the potential debut of Derek Harmon, the leadership of Cam Hayward, and the resilience of this team matters so much right now. Steelers fans, here's what this all comes down to. The season is young, but these early games set the tone. Injuries are piling up, but that's nothing new in Pittsburgh. This team has always prided itself on a next-man-up mentality. We've seen it before. When one star goes down, someone else steps up and makes a name for themselves. Could Derek Harmon be that guy this week? Could Caleb Johnson redeem himself later in the season? These are the storylines that will shape how 2025 plays out. Yes, losing Alex Highsmith hurts. Yes, mistakes like Johnson's can cost you games, but this team has the leadership, the talent, and the culture to overcome. And if they do, this rough patch might be the turning point that hardens them for the playoff push down the road. So here we are, Steelers Nation. The team has signed Isaiah Hajins, a wide receiver who's shown flashes of real potential and now has a fresh opportunity to make his mark in Pittsburgh. Combine that with Cam Hayward's call for accountability after a disappointing loss, and it's clear the Steelers are focused on correcting course quickly. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Hajins can carve out a meaningful role in this offense? Or is this more of a depth move that won't move the needle? And beyond Hajins, what do you think is the biggest issue the Steelers need to fix before this season gets away from them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading and responding. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay locked in with everything Steelers, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Steelers Nation, this is just the beginning of the fight. Let's see if Isaiah Hajins can be part of the solution.